Your daddy. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to the first official episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. This is your boy B Zeke. I'm here with my brothers from another mother, and we'll be talking NBA.
So we don't get to say who we are, big brother from another mother?
Can I get there?
I'm just
Can I
saying.
get there?
Normally you get there, but
Can I get there?
since we all
slow dragging the day on
yeah,
there.
you know what I'm saying. Since we
This
all
is the
public
first
and
official
stuff,
episode. I'm trying to be professional. Okay?
whatever you say.
As you can see, the camaraderie is very, very thick. I love my brothers. I still want to drive by, take that AK-47 out and unload sometimes.
Man,
but
if you could even spell that, I would let you do that. But it's all good, brother. It's
the
all
shade
good.
is real. The shade is real.
It's all good. It's
So the
all
first
good.
topic we're going to talk about today is the All-Star. What? Man, I don't know y'all. I don't care about y'all.
What's good, 94 Feet? It's your boy Dre. Since the producer over here is acting a little shady. How you doing, my brothers? It's good to be with y'all today in the studio.
What's good, my peoples? This is your boy Keys.
All good, all
94
good.
feet all day.
All day.
Who
all
are you,
day.
sir, since you...
I'm Dre, man. I'm just Dre. Like
Oh.
us, 94 Feet Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, share, comment. We probably won't read it, but comment anyway. We want to see what you all got to say. So, you know.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
I'll read
All
it
good.
to him, guys. I'll read
All
it to
good.
him.
All good. Let's go.
That's
Let's
how I
go.
sleep at night.
Let's dive in.
So the first topic we want to talk about is the All-Star roster, the snubs, and how that's going to go. But first I want to talk about, I don't want to necessarily talk about, but just give a brief understanding this year's All-Star games is a little differently. So we got All-Star game will be on March 7th in Atlanta, Georgia. The three-point contest will be before the game, and the dunk contest will be at halftime. We don't have the participants yet, but I feel like this is so rushed and so unnecessary. LeBron James agreed with me. So did Giannis and quite a few other players. I mean, this is – and then on top of that, to add the cherry to the bizarre cake, you want to call it, the mayor of Atlanta said, hey, this is just a game. Please do not come to ATL to party. Now all of a sudden she care about the coronavirus. Now it's a problem. Now it's an issue. But that's another subject for another day. Let's talk about these rosters.
All right.
So leading the charge for the starting lineup for the West, we got LeBron James. We got Kawhi Leonard. We got Djokovic.
Joker.
Djokovic. Hey, it's Black History Month. We ain't got to get his name right. He needs to get in line.
Get the bad name right. Show some respect.
We got Steph Curry. We got
Steph.
Lukovic. We got Luka. And then for reserves, we got Chris Paul, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Mitchell, Rudy Gobert.
Who?
Rudy Gobert.
Gobert.
Oh, man, he French. I ain't really got time for that. Zion the Truth.
Who?
Zion the Truth. Ain't his name Zion?
Zion.
Hey,
Zion.
They call him the Truth because I thought that was Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Look, on 94 Feet
You
Podcast,
can't-
we don't get names right here, okay?
I get names right.
Zoe. We got Zoe, and then we got Anthony Davis. Now, there's a caveat to Anthony Davis. We all know that. He is injured. He won't be participating. He's been replaced by Devin Booker. And then on the East, we got Kevin Durant, Giannis. We got Bradley Beal, Irvin, Joel Embiid. And for your reserves, we got James Harden, Julius Randle, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Ben Simmons, and then the white boy from Orlando. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, but we all know what he's talking about. Yeah, I see y'all didn't interrupt.
They don't know who that is.
Yeah, he know who he is. He know who he is.
Oh, my goodness, man.
So, and then Kevin Durant won't be participating. He's been replaced by Sabonis from Indiana. And then Jason Tatum will replace Kevin Durant as a starter. So Jason Tatum will be starting. Also, this is very interesting. It was supposed to be Jimmy Butler was supposed to replace Kevin Durant, but Jimmy Butler turned it down. And that brings us to the conversation of the snubs. He turned it down because his teammate Bam wasn't invited to the All-Star game. That takes us to the topic of snubs.
I mean,
who y'all got as snubs?
Man, the Bam snub, I just can't see it. I mean,
you can't see him being in the All-Star?
He's not an All-Star yet. I mean, he's played good, but All-Star caliber, I ain't seen it yet.
I actually, when I look at the roster, I think the snubs, it's been settled, right? Sabonis is on the team now. Mm-hmm. Booker's on the team now. Mm-hmm. Tatum's starting, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really see the snubs. I mean, I was looking at some rosters of snubs. People were suggesting that Bam was a snub. Chris Middleton was a snub. And I even saw Mike Conley was a snub. And I'm just trying to figure out, when you look at the talent of the all-star roster, why do we feel that these players are snubs? I mean, what have they done that's better than half the roster you just named? And that was a lot. So I know that was a long intro, everyone. But if you look at the all-star roster, what have those players done to beat out any of these people, right? Nothing, in my opinion. So when you talk about snubs, Bradley Beal made it. He's been snubbed freaking every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
You know, if there's a snub that's out there, it's probably Russell Westbrook. Okay, he's probably the snub. Don't you even think it. He is probably the snub, right? Here's why. Westbrook continuously to put up near triple-doubles. His impact of the game shows. Russell Westbrook is a baller. And if there's a snub, it's him. I said what I said.
Okay,
if there's a snub, it's him.
So if he's a snub, who you going to replace him with?
So if you're looking at the Eastern Conference roster, if I would probably say potentially it could be argued that maybe he should replace Sabonis, but Sabonis, again, if you look at his numbers as a forward center, he's deserving of that. So everyone on the East is truly earned their spot. I would probably say Randall was a force to me.
So you telling me
he's kind of a force.
So you telling me that if you was the franchise owner, you're going to pick up Zach LaVine over Russell Westbrook?
If you're looking at stats, absolutely. If you're looking at stats, which we tend to do here occasionally, Zach LaVine has been holding it down for his team. He is the best player on his team, is he not?
Is Russell Westbrook not the best player on his team?
Bradley Beal is the best player on his team.
Bradley
Beal is the best player on the
individual wise.
I'm
going to go with Westbrook.
Oh my God!
As the better player.
Let me tell you,
on his team. Not, we didn't say best player. You said the best player on his team. You're saying that Russell Westbrook is better than Bradley Beal this season.
Not his career. I'm talking about this season.
We're talking about right now.
Right now, yes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I mean,
okay.
He has earned that right. Look at what he's been through. Y'all don't feel the same way?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't feel the same way. Just based on
only thing you can say Bradley Beal can do is get buckets.
That's all he's supposed to do. He's a shooting guard.
You got a point guard that averages nearly triple-double numbers, and you think Bradley Beal is better than him?
This season, Bradley Beal is playing better basketball than Russie. No one said he's a better player. Let me rephrase it for everyone out there in podcast land listening. Bradley Beal is more valuable to the Washington Wizards than Russell Westbrook is. So that solidifies his spot on the All-Star team.
Okay, I get it. I get that part.
So then, first of all, the fact that we even talking about Russell Westbrook is ridiculous.
We still talk about James Harden. We still talk about Kyrie Irving. We still talk about
Westbrook first of all, have you seen the Washington Wizards record? The way they started out this year has been horrible. And part of that is because of Russell Westbrook has not put up the stats that he's usually putting up throughout the years. This isn't the OKC Russell Westbrook. This isn't even Houston Russell Westbrook. This is somebody who's adjusting to a new team who has not been putting up those type of numbers.
Listen.
He's practically on the trading block because of the numbers he's been putting up.
And listen, in the last 8 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has put up 5 triple-doubles in the last 8 games. Okay? Of course, he's not scoring the 30 and the 40. That's okay. But if you look at what he's contributing as rebounds, look at what he's contributing as points, look at what he's contributing just to the game of basketball for the Wizards. If you take him away, and I'm a Bradley Beal fan. I'm a Beal fan. If you take Westbrook away, okay, those however many wins Washington has right now will probably be a lot less. Just want to put that out there. So
I can guarantee you that.
I am not saying that he is – I still stand by Bill is more valuable to that team. But you asked for my snub, and I gave it to you. It's Russell Westbrook.
Wow.
That's my snub. Everybody else is good. Okay, you're having way too much fun. You're having way too much fun with that, man. We're going to take that away from you, y'all. No, go ahead.
So, my snub is I have a couple snubs, and I have a couple people to replace them. My snubs is Trae Young, and I'm gonna.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna replace Trae Young with the white boy from Orlando, and I'm also gonna put out here. I want to say Jimmy. I want to say Jimmy because when Jimmy came back from injury, it took him a little time to adjust. But ever since then, he's been playing pretty good ball. And I'm going to replace Jimmy with.
I disagree.
I'm going to replace Jimmy with Jaylen Brown.
And we're assuming that the white boy that Mr. Zeke is referring to is Nikola. Is that what you're talking about, Nikola?
Are you sure with that? Is that what you're going with?
I'm asking you.
It's Nikola Vucevic.
That's who we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's who we're talking about.
How secure are you with that name pronunciation?
It doesn't matter.
It's about as close as you gonna get.
It's about as close as you gonna get, like my brother said.
So don't push it.
But here's the thing about Jimmy Butler. Here's why, and I'm a Butler fan. Butler has not played a lot this season. If you go back and look at the games that Jimmy Butler has missed, it's hard to reward him with an all-star spot. All-star games are rewards, whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. We know that the starting lineup is a popularity contest because the fans pick. Right, because the fans pick. But the bottom line is that Jimmy Butler, he has not earned an all-star spot this year. So that's the only reason why I say he's not what I would call a snub.
I totally agree. Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, as they call him, has not earned his all-star appearance this year. I mean, like you said, he has missed so many games because of NBA protocol with health issues that he does not even have the chance to really showcase his talent this year. Mm-hmm. Even though he was in the finals, that might be a reason why.
Yeah, but the finals was last season. We're talking about this season. We're talking about a brand new season of basketball.
So are you saying Jimmy Butler don't deserve, or you think he got snubbed?
I don't think he's snubbed. I just think he has a chance to play enough to be considered an all-star this year.
So you're fine with the rosters how they are?
My only issue is
the white boy we can't pronounce.
It was Devin Booker, but they eventually added Devin Booker to replace AD. So that was my only snub, really.
I mean,
maybe Mike Conley.
I would. One second, bro. I'm going to agree with Kesey from this standpoint. Devin Booker's stats outside of points aren't really as great as Chris Paul's. But when you look at Chris Paul and Devin Booker, what they bring to the game for the Phoenix Suns, I think in one of our earlier episodes we talked about, and I think you guys were against me when I said Chris Paul, I didn't quite call him a has-been, but I said, his age will show. But so far we've been wrong about that.
I tried to tell you that.
Yeah,
remember?
I
tried to tell you.
We both tried to tell you.
I tried to I told you, with Chris Paul, with Devin Booker, Phoenix were not going to be an 8th seed or lower. And look where they at right now. What are they, like the 3rd or 4th seed right now?
4th seed.
Yeah, but you know what? But it surprised me to see Paul get selected over Booker. But again, the NBA is a stats game. We know that. It's a popularity thing. We know that.
All-Star game is a popularity contest. I just asked y'all a real quick question, Dan. When you talk about these guys who got snubbed, and you talk about like the roster not being like necessarily every year we also we have these complaints about these rosters and so on and how far they go and all the controversy and stuff like that. I mean, mainly it just makes for good TV, but it's still always a controversial thing every single year. So what do you guys think about expanding the All-Star rosters from like a 12 to maybe a 17 player roster?
Why? For what? There is not enough ball to go around for all those players.
I mean, at the end of the day, starters get more play. But
17?
It's just,
but
okay,
first, you got to think about this.
Go ahead.
You talking about 17 players. That's 5 starting lineups, really. Yeah. I mean, that lineup, not 5, 3 starting lineups and 2 reserves, really.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the starters are a popularity contest, and the rest of the guys get picked by the NBA and coaches and so on and so forth. So when you talk about Mike Conley and you talk about other guys who've never made the All-Star team, this would solve that issue. We have Mike Conley has been the year maybe 17, 15 years, and he's never been in an All-Star game. He's been a part of not one, but maybe 2 or 3 really good teams. So for him to never make an All-Star game is kind of like, if you really think about it, it's like, and then you have over the years guys who've never made an All-Star game.
His time has passed.
The only thing about Mike Conley is he has had a good career, a very good career, but nothing about his career really stands out to make him an All-Star. Can you tell me one thing that you remember? Tell me one thing you remember that Mike Conley did that made you be like, man, Mike Conley is an All-Star.
Well, first of all, you know what I'm saying? I'm older. I can accept that. So a lot of stuff I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? A lot of drugs and alcohol. That's a whole nother subject for another time. But the point is, you're right. I will give you that. That Mike Conley has done anything that's just really just like stood out to me. I just find it like this would just kind of solve this issue where like Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal, like this is their second All-Star appearance or their third All-Star appearance. I'm like, these guys have been putting up numbers for consecutive for the last 5 years, and this is their first or second year. So it becomes that popularity situation where do you have to do something outstanding? Because you want that when it's all said and done, you want that on your plaque or your stat sheet or your career achievements. Hey, I made the All-Star team.
You do. But also you got to think about the players that are on their team as well. That means either Mitchell is going to lose their spot or Rudy's going to lose that spot because they ain't taking 3 or 4 players from each team. It just ain't going to happen.
Hold on a second. You said that. Now, remember that year 2015-16.
You talking about the Warriors?
No, Atlanta Hawks. I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say the Atlanta Hawks that year, they had almost their whole starting 5 in the All-Star game because they were having that good of a year.
Really?
Listen, man. Mike Conley is a role player, okay? And once we accept that, we'll be fine. He's a role player, okay? Role players
hold on now.
No.
Don't disrespect that brother now.
I didn't say –
because he ain't no role player.
I didn't say anything disrespectful.
He has been a very good leader in Memphis up until they saw John Morant come in.
Listen.
When they saw him coming in, it
was
like, Mike Conley.
Listen, this is all I'm saying.
Good, faithful servant. Your time is done.
94 Feet family, this is what I'm saying. Mike Conley on every NBA fantasy team is still on the waiver wire. He's still on the waiver wire, right? The second thing is, let's just be honest here. Okay, let's just throw this out here. If you look at the reserves, all of the reserves are either superstars or superstars in the making. Mike Conley has had his chance. He's had his time. It's over.
His time is over. That's why I didn't really consider him a snub.
He's not a snub. He's just a older player that cannot keep up with the popularity of the new NBA and its stardom.
I mean, you coming with that heat? I gotta give it to you. You coming with that heat? I didn't even think about that. I just thought about because Mike Conley has been in the league about 15, 16 years, and he hasn't been in the All-Star game. But a guy like Rudy Gobert where I can barely pronounce his name, and he was crying and whining about his situation, but it seemed all of a sudden he got a spot.
Well, he need wins. Think about it. He need wins. Bro, he spread COVID throughout the NBA, so he need wins. He need people to forget that he's the clown that gave COVID to his teammates, right?
I would never
and I mean,
forget.
you look at
But
the
he's
players.
not necessarily the one who gave it to him.
I know.
That's a figure of speech.
I'm just talking, but it was stupid. Come on. Come on, bro.
No.
Can you imagine rubbing your head like, come on, and they're trying to but another story from the day. The bottom line is I think the NBA All-Star team is fine as it is. I think the players that were replaced are great players, or good players rather, that will make up for an exciting All-Star game if they even care about it. So
okay, all right. Just wanted to know your guys' opinion. So the next thing I really want to get into is the game of the week. We got the Los Angeles Lakers versus that Mike Conley Utah Jazz. This is
wait. Did you just give Mike Conley top billing over all those other players on that team?
It's called transitioning.
It's called a bad transition. So give yourself one of those negative ones, whichever one you want to pick. Go ahead, because I see you having a lot of fun with that. But you don't ever give Mike Conley top billing over. Are you kidding me? Did you really just do that?
Especially not over Mitchell.
Come on. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's rephrase that.
I didn't give him top billing.
You said Mike. Okay, go ahead.
You said Mike Conley and the Utah Jazz.
You said Mike Conley and the Utah Jazz.
You can't say LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers versus Mike Conley and the Utah Jazz.
That's like saying Dennis Schroeder and the Los Angeles Lakers took on Mike Conley and the Utah Jazz. Right, because we're all watching TV for Mike Conley. Come on, that's what you just did. But go ahead with your transition, brother. Go ahead.
Mike Conley, I think you're a great player.
He is a good player.
And
10
I will
years
not
ago.
shade you with the title of role player. I would not shade you like that. Now, if you want to see these two Negroes, you know where to find them. On Twitter, on Instagram, you know where to find them.
I mean, you might as well say Derek Favors.
Like I was saying.
Or Jordan Clarkson. I'm just still on that, bro. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. Can you just fix it? Can you just fix it, please?
The game of the week, Los Angeles Lakers and the Utah Jazz. The Donovan Mitchell Utah Jazz.
Thank you. That makes me feel a little better. Go ahead.
The final score was the Utah Jazz 114, the Lakers 89. Now, we've discussed that. We've discussed among ourselves that the Utah Jazz are not to be taken seriously. After this beatdown of the Los Angeles Lakers, yes, I said beat down. I know the Los Angeles situation, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But the fact that they got beat up like this, and, you know what I'm saying, they pretty much handled them how they even handled the rest of the NBA is something to really kind of think about.
Without AD, without Schroeder.
Come on. The Lakers were not fully healthy. The roster is questionable, especially with AD out. Besides LeBron, obviously. The Lakers roster is questionable. No one wants to say that. But their roster is really questionable without AD and LeBron.
Let's take away from the Lakers situation.
Okay.
The Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley the role player. I'm using quotation marks here. Mike Conley the role player. Clarkson is pretty much almost a shoe-in for Sixth Man of the Year. Come on, y'all really still not taking this team seriously?
No, so we're talking about the game of the week, and I think the question is, are we now taking Utah differently?
Yeah.
I'm not sold. It's regular season basketball. I mean, they are a good team in the dominant Western Conference. You definitely have to give that some respect, right?
And I think that comes from chemistry of them playing together so long.
Mm-hmm.
That's where their wins come into play. They win more games because they've been together a little bit longer than some of the other teams that have been just put together this year.
Yeah, because
of all the trades.
So go ahead.
So my thing is, it's about adjustments. Once the Lakers are back to full health, they'll make the adjustment.
And I mean, if you look back at the game, LeBron didn't have a great game. He did not have a great game. It was very mediocre from his own standards. And Utah came and they were ready. Was it a statement game for Utah? Absolutely, it was a statement. But what good is a statement when your superstar isn't playing his best and the second best superstar on the team didn't play at all. So if anybody thinks Utah is scary because they beat an Anthony Davis list or a Dennis Schroeder list Lakers, then you go right ahead and you think that. But come on, the Lakers have what? Jared Dudley, Giannis' little brother that doesn't play at all. He had 1 point. Caruso, overrated. Yeah, I said it. Wesley Matthews, don't leave it. Enough. We had enough for the first 20 minutes already, brother. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers are not really a great team without AD and LeBron. And again, I'm a guy that picked the Lakers to win it fully healthy. I'm a guy that picked them to repeat it. But now I even have to question that because we see how important Anthony Davis just is to that roster, and it's a long battle. It's a long battle.
So is it more you questioning the Lakers, or is it less of you taking Utah seriously?
I take Utah serious, but it's still regular season basketball. That's all I'm saying. People don't believe the hype.
I don't take them serious. And I'll tell you why.
I know why, but go ahead and say it.
LeBron James had a bad game.
He had a bad game, and Mike Conley, according to our guy, is the superstar of that.
And he didn't have any help that game. And my thing is, their anchor on defense is Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
He is the horse for that backcourt or front court, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad both of y'all feel this way, because the Lakers are not only having one bad game, they've had a couple bad games. And matter of fact, just to be completely honest, they've been having bad games ever since Anthony Davis left.
Yeah.
So the real question is, does LeBron even deserve MVP mentioning? Because it seems like Anthony Davis is the catalyst of that team. It seems like Anthony Davis is the missing link. Because if you're an MVP candidate, possibly the number one MVP candidate, you're supposed to be willing your team past these difficult times to somewhat sustainable. So somewhat, hey, this team is still legit, because Anthony Davis has been hurt in the past.
Then the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo has robbed the NBA of the MVP award. Then if that's the case.
Why you say that?
Because every playoffs, he ain't putting up the numbers he was putting up all year to hold on to that MVP.
Sleep in the playoffs. I agree.
What I'm saying,
because my thing is, like you said, the MVP is supposed to take you to that next level, right?
Take your team to the next level, yeah.
So here, let me call you out on a second here, Zeke. A couple weeks ago, you said Luka was an MVP candidate. A couple weeks ago, that's what you said.
Yeah.
The Mavericks are in 9th place. They're in 9th place, and he is still getting love from Sports America as an MVP candidate. The Lakers are still in 3rd place. LeBron has had a few bad games, and we all know that when you take away LeBron James, your team is either A, in the lottery, ask Cleveland, right? Or your team just isn't that good, ask Miami. Ask the Lakers. So LeBron James should still absolutely 110% be mentioned in the MVP conversation, in my opinion. LeBron James, what he means to the Lakers, he is the most valuable player every year who doesn't win the trophy, okay? He is the most valuable player every year that doesn't win the trophy.
And you know I'm going to agree. You know I'm going to agree.
Think about it. Think about every team that LeBron has been on when he doesn't play. Think about it. The team has been terrible. They do nothing. Anthony Davis is a big part of the Lakers' success. No one is denying that at all. Does LeBron need him to win a title? 110% yes. But let's flip the roles, okay? Put Anthony Davis on the Lakers without LeBron and see how good they are. Okay, but we've already seen that story. It's called the New Orleans Hornets, and he demands himself a trade 2 years ago at the All-Star break. So we've seen that story already.
But my thing is, you got to remember how important defense is to getting wins. Because as you know, with the Golden State Warriors, when Draymond was taken out of those games, even that LeBron series, yes, I know, they lost. It's tough to win games when your defensive anchor is not there.
I hear what both of y'all saying. I hear both what y'all saying, and I do agree with it. I just find it funny that when it comes down to the MVP talk altogether, like you brought up Luka, or we talk about Joker, or we talk about even Joel Embiid, like he, despite injuries, despite all this stuff, because LeBron James is a vet, a superstar, GOAT vet. So I expect him. Oh, Anthony Davis is down. Okay, I need to step my game up. I need to have a conversation with my team and push them past this hard time. Because guess what? Anthony Davis is going to be out. They say a month. It might be longer. And then we're not even talking about the adjustment time that he's going to have to take. So in the midst of that, if they go just for argument's sake, let's say they go 3-10, we still like LeBron James should win MVP. I think we have to reconsider and really look at that as a whole. Like, you guys talk about this stuff that LeBron James has done in the past, and I understand it because that's the caveat. We all know LeBron hits a switch when it comes to playoff time and stuff like that, so we give him a little leeway when it comes to these games, when they lost against Brooklyn, when they lost against the Clippers, when they lose against this team. But these are the teams that they've lost to are teams they should have beaten. Washington Wizards, the OKC Thunder. These are teams you should have easily taken your team and pushed the way past these games. So I don't want to hear about the caveat of, LeBron James got all these stats and, when he can hit the switch.
My problem with that is everybody wants to put the blame on LeBron James.
Every time.
When the brother is in year 18 of his career and he is still valued as the most valuable player probably in that league, and you still expect him to do numbers like he's 21, 22.
I don't expect that.
But that's what the people think.
No, people
think he's supposed to put up 40 and 50 every night, and he's 37 years old.
And make every free throw.
No.
Not pass the ball.
No, I think.
And shoot every shot.
And take the last shot.
See, here's
and make the game winners.
And coach the team.
So here's the thing about
and
that.
be their friends.
And GM the team.
Has LeBron not done that in the past?
According to whom?
According to y'all. According to LeBron James supporters. LeBron James has done all of those things. He's coached the team. He's welded these quote-unquote scrubs to the finals and won the championship. He's done all these things. So why not do it again? I don't want to hear about his 18th year, because when he scores 36 and 12 and 5 and 7 and 6, guess what y'all saying? Oh man, how he's doing this and he's 37.
But you got to remember though, he can't do it all. Because if it's Marquez,
which one is it?
Harold that's missing that help side defense, or if it's Jared Dudley, feet too slow to get to the other side.
First of all, the fact that
or
y'all
if it's the Kupo brother, who don't even play enough minutes to know the offense.
I mean, he did get 1 point in that last game.
How do you expect him to keep doing what he does at the age he is?
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to dwindle down some.
Listen, this is all I'm saying. Once again, Sports America needs to just relax. Hit the panic button. Take your hand off the panic button. The Los Angeles Lakers are 23-11. We are getting ready to enter the All-Star break. We do not need to worry about the Lakers. The Lakers will be fine. Okay, do we need Anthony Davis to win a championship? 110%.
Yes, we do.
But the Lakers will be fine. And yes, LeBron James is still an MVP candidate.
What they need to be worried about is how them Brooklyn Nets going to learn to play some defense. Because right now they got the worst defensive rating in the league.
Well, look who their coaches are. Steve Nash.
The only way they is beating people is because they naturally can score. But supposedly they having a bad week.
But all I know is this. All I know is this. Kevin Durant has been out for quite a bit. And the Nets seem to be doing just fine. Now, have they lost a recent game? Yeah, they lost a recent game. But before that, against Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Philadelphia, and other contending teams, they're like 5-1.
But all the contending teams that they beat had players out.
All of them.
Every last
part of the game.
But they had their whole squad when they played those teams, though.
Not Kevin Durant. Since you want to bring it up, the Brooklyn Nets have not played. All three of their superstars have not played together
in a while.
They played like 7 games together.
You're right.
So this team is finding a way to win. Los Angeles, with one of the GOATs, should find a way to win. Now, as far as championship goes, I get that. Like, you need your full roster. What I'm saying is, we're talking about the individual award. LeBron James is the number 1 MVP candidate. I brought up Luka because he's like number 3, number 4, maybe number 5. So he's in that conversation, but he's not the number, like, hey, LeBron James is a lock-in for MVP, so on and so forth. I'm saying is, as much as we praise LeBron James, we still need to take a really good look at the stuff of the individual awards that he's winning. Because if, let's say, the Lakers do finish 3rd at the end of the year, or even 2nd, Philadelphia finish 1st, they should get that. That's the number 1 seed. They should push forward as far as take a better look at Joel Embiid winning MVP, because he's pushing his team to that number 1 spot.
My only problem is, how come everybody else isn't held to that same standard that LeBron James is when their team starts to have a losing streak?
Because no one is, and I'm a LeBron guy, but because no one is calling Joel Embiid the GOAT. No one's calling Luka the GOAT. No one is saying that LeBron is the 2nd or 3rd best player.
Well, then they need to stop putting these players in the same category as LeBron James as an MVP. When Luka and them is not even 500 now, is they?
They're number 9.
But okay,
but he's an MVP. He's an MVP candidate,
and it's talked about every day.
And it's talked about like he's compared to LeBron James.
Someone just compared him to Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Someone just compared him to Larry Bird.
And what was his statement?
It was humble. Let's just say that.
He
knew. He knew,
because he was like I played a lot of basketball.
He was feeling himself, but he gave the humble approach.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I got a lot of basketball. That's an unfair comparison, which it is.
But see, Luka's learning now. That 82-game season or them long seasons, they start to take a toll on you, especially when you're losing.
Yeah, that's true. Or when you're the only guy putting up numbers.
And side note, since we brought in Luka, did you hear who Dallas is shopping?
Yeah, they should shop him.
They want to get rid of Porzingis, who wanted to come to Dallas because of Luka.
He wanted to get traded out of New York. I don't know if it was any particular.
But I'm trying to figure out why they trying to get rid of him though.
Because he's always hurt.
He's always hurt, man. He's
I know why they really trying to get rid of him. Wow. It was sarcasm.
What do you mean?
Luka needs another superstar
because they shouldn't have even brought him in from New York. He should have stayed in New York where he was at and continue his own legacy, but he wanted to jump the band and go over there with Luka because Luka was hot at the moment, and he ain't as good as everybody thought he really is.
Here's the thing about Porzingis. He puts the numbers up when he's in the game, but it's so far in between that he's in the game that you're like, is it really worth the value when? Because if you trade him right now, he's worth 2 draft picks. He's worth another, I wouldn't say superstar, but another somebody of an all-star caliber kind of player.
Like who?
I don't know.
So, matter of fact, Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's on the trading block.
Where that button at? Slap yourself. Thank you for saying that because I don't swear. No. Porzingis for Andre Drummond. Next topic. Segue. No, we're not even doing it. No.
Drummond numbers.
No.
In his game is so much better.
No. Drummond
is what?
Nothing.
Drummond is what? Drummond is what?
Andre Drummond, if he was on a better team, he would arguably be in the conversation. Why isn't he an all-star? All-star?
And now that we bring him up, that gives me another snub to talk about.
Let's look at his stats.
Now, he got snubbed probably because the Cavaliers benched him because they want to get rid of him.
And why did they bench him? Why did they bench him? Say it. I need to hear y'all say it.
Because they want to trade him. They want to protect their investment.
No.
Let's call it what it is. Come on.
No. You know that's not why. Say it. I need to hear y'all say it. Y'all ain't gonna say it?
No, I ain't gonna say it. You say it.
You say it.
Fine. Jarrett Allen is the better player. Yeah, I said it. Jared Allen.
Jared Allen?
Jared Allen is the better player. You know what's funny about Andre Drummond? Here's something.
I know you had a past of drugs and alcohol use. But
no shame.
Have you had some today or what?
Jared
Allen, really?
Maybe a little bit later.
Jared who?
Jared Allen.
No.
Jared Allen is a better player than Andre Drummond.
Okay.
Hold on a second now. Here's my thing about Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is the type of player who makes no difference in your team as far as your team winning or losing. Like, this guy puts up 30 and 20, and then he's good for Andre's fantasy team.
Yeah.
But besides that, you're not looking for him to build around. Because guess what? He had that opportunity in Detroit, and they got rid of him.
But my only question is, hold on before you go any further. Now, you say he has the stats and stuff to go, but what about Bradley Beal? He has the stats and stuff to go along with.
He said he didn't want to go.
Like I'm saying,
I'm not buying.
My thing is, and they didn't win when it was just him.
He didn't want to go.
If you put Bradley Beal on a better team, they'll win. If you put Drummond with his numbers on a better team, they'll win. You can't put them on scrubby teams, or not scrubby, but teams with
You can go scrubby.
Yeah, the Detroit Pistons were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. Remember, because I think we had that other guy, Greg Monroe. We picked him up on the Bucks, and people were excited about that. Do you remember that garbage?
Oh man, he was
slowing the Twin Towers.
He was slowing the Bucks down so bad. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I feel bad, and I know we brought Drummond in as a part of the Sun. I feel bad for him, but if I'm the GM, I am not taking Porzingis for Andre Drummond. Never.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, because we started this conversation, it's gone off the rails, but just really quickly, if you were to trade Porzingis, because he is on, they're whispering, they're not saying it officially, but they're whispering, what are you looking for to get for him?
If I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm looking for somebody that can score, because God forbid something happens to Luka. The problem with the NBA, guys, is that the NBA invests too much into one player. If Giannis goes down, the Bucks have nobody. We're depending on Middleton and Drew Holiday, who hasn't played in over 10 games or something crazy like that. Right? Still, injury's injury, right? It doesn't matter what it is.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
For the Lakers.
If Luka goes down, Dallas has nobody. Okay, we see what the Lakers are doing, and they have two superstars. So if I'm a GM in this era of multiple superstars, I mean, look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn has three superstars, right? Mm-hmm. Three. They can still compete with at least two of them. Will they lose a game or two? Yes. But if Dallas wants to stay competitive, they need to bring in a player that can complement Luka, that can score and carry the team. Should something happen to Luka, God forbid.
Because Tim Hardaway Jr. ain't doing it.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's definitely not like his dad. It's doesn't like my daddy. Not at all.
I mean, he's not horrible. Don't get it. Don't get it twisted.
Tim Hardaway Sr. was a baller.
Yeah, he patting that crossover.
I know. He's a baller.
He is a baller.
He's a baller. Okay.
So speaking of ballers, one baller to another. See how I segue with that? Okay.
Retired ballers. No.
So, Kyrie is saying that Kobe Bryant should be the logo for the NBA. Now, this is a very touchy subject because Kobe Bryant, the legend, had just passed away last year. This makes it a year, actually.
About a year, yeah.
So, I know where his wife is coming from. I even know where Kyrie is coming from. But I just from my perspective, just come on and ride me real quick. Just listen to what I got to say. Just hear me out.
All right. I'm on this bus right now.
Thank you.
I'm on the bus right now.
Well, I'm not on the bus, but I want to hear him. I'm not on the bus.
You not on this bus?
No.
You ain't got to sit on the bus. Sit your ass down there.
No.
So anyways, what I'm saying is this. Kobe Bryant is a legend in our game. He's he is, to me, Kobe Bryant has always been the last of a dying breed. Kobe Bryant imitated his game off Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about
keyword,
and when you talk about somebody who should be the staple, the logo, which people go to see as far as the NBA goes, to be really honest with you, I don't think it should change, because when it comes down to this persona and this logo, like a lot of people don't know this is Jerry West, and even Jerry West said, I don't. If they want to change, it's fine. He doesn't care. He doesn't get paid off of it. But I think that Kyrie is coming from a place of, this was my guy, this was my mentor, this is the person I went to for advice and stuff like that. And Kobe Bryant had a guy like Kobe, so Kyrie is his Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant had Michael Jordan. And then I don't know who Michael Jordan had, but Michael Jordan was the person who stapled this game and turned it into the culture that it's into today. So I don't necessarily know if it's one of those things where it should be Michael Jordan. I just think it shouldn't be changed at all. Like, what do you guys think?
So would you like to start? Because I have a lot to say. Would you like to start? Listen,
first off,
let me just say this before you start. Let me just say this. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah, rest in peace.
Kobe Bryant is he was a superstar. He helped, I can't say he helped change the game of basketball, but he did a lot for basketball. When you think about the logo, you're thinking about a person that is synonymous with the sport. And if anybody should be the logo, it should be Michael Jordan. Okay? That's just respect. I mean, in every circle, Michael Jordan is synonymous with the NBA. Can the NBA do something different to memorialize Kobe? Yes. Should they do something like maybe retire the number 24?
Didn't they name the All-Star MVP after him?
Not the All-Star MVP, but the way they're playing the game, like you win by a certain amount and something like that.
Yeah, they'll add something to your points. We have to research on that a little bit. But the bottom line is, when you think about the logo, you're thinking about a person that changed basketball. Michael Jordan changed basketball. Was Kobe a baller? 110%, yes. But look at his era of ballers. There were a lot of ballers. Shaq was a baller. T-Mac was a baller. Vince Carter was a baller. Kevin Garnett was a baller. Ray Allen was a baller. Tim Duncan was a baller.
But you say the person should be someone who has made the NBA change. If that's the case, then Allen Iverson should be in that conversation as well, because he made them bring in the zone.
See, here's the problem. See, exactly what you just said.
I'm not saying that Allen Iverson is deserving of it, but I'm just saying, like, there has been a lot of players who have changed the game and have brought something to the game in their own uniqueness way.
Yeah, I get, and that's the thing about it, is that when you get the change in the logo and you talk about how that this person has changed the NBA. They do this now because of this person. They do this now because of this person. Like it's the Hack-a-Shaq rule or whatever the case may be. Like, you bring so many other people into this conversation. Now, one of the things that Kyrie said was, like, this league has been built off of black kings. And I was like, you know what? He's right about that. But I don't know because once you bring Kobe into this conversation, then you get to talking about Jordan, then you get to talking about these guys from the past and so on and so forth. So it just brings it to a whole community. It brings it to a whole thing where somebody's not going to be happy. Like, everybody's not going to be happy. You bring this to a whole conversation when it shouldn't be even a conversation. Now, when Kyrie's like, hey, this is built on black kings, I agree with that. But let's just kind of leave this alone, because it becomes a situation.
I kind of get where Kyrie probably is coming from. I don't know if it's exactly where he's coming from, but you have to think of it like this. The other players that's in that category to maybe even be that logo, their legacy is still here because they're still here. Kobe Bryant is gone, and how do you remember somebody? By making something a trademark behind them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can see where he's coming from with it. At the same time, I don't agree with it at the same time.
So I think it's absolutely a matter of respect. I mean, Kyrie had a great point. I mean, the NBA is full of black kings, and the NBA has declared that through their social stance, through their injustice stance, and all that stuff. But again, I mean, the logo, that just says, dude, you changed basketball. And we all know that that's Michael Jordan. We know that that's Michael Jordan. If there's anybody's number that should be retired, it's Michael Jordan's. But the NBA can find a way to do it and honor Kobe. But being the logo, I'm not on board with that. And again, I'm a Kobe guy. Kobe was my second favorite player when he played in the NBA behind LeBron James and Tim Duncan. But no, he's not quite the logo, in my opinion. He's not.
I got another good question because I mentioned that the quote from Kyrie was, I mentioned the quote, he said this league is built on black kings. And when he said it, I was like, it's really profound. Is Kyrie woke?
As in woke like you and me, like right now, like walking around awake? He's awake like that.
You know, like woke. Like, you know, like woke.
You know? See, I'm not going to judge another person's wokeness because then somebody will say, well, you're not woke. So is Kyrie a voice? Potentially. He's a voice. Potentially. Is he aware? Yes. But woke has so many different connotations and definitions to it in the social justice world. So I'm not going to judge whether he's woke or not. But is he a voice? I'll say he's a voice. But I'm not going to judge him being woke or not because I really don't know. But I'll say he's a voice.
I like the way you danced around that.
I appreciate that.
Is Kyrie woke? Now, I want to put this out there. I mean, he did do the George Floyd home. I think he built a home for them or bought a home for them.
Purchased a home. He put some kids through college.
He put some kids through college. He's talked about injustice. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to do the bubble. He wanted to sit out for a protest.
He did.
Yeah.
So is Kyrie woke?
You still got to put a little respect on Kyrie's name at the same time.
You do.
Because he is standing up for our people at the same time. But I don't know if he's woke all the way yet.
Okay. Because
I don't know if he's made it that far yet.
Kaepernick is woke. Cap lost his life for his wokeness.
Livelihood.
Same thing. I mean, he lost his livelihood.
Hey, don't get it twisted.
He
living better than everybody in this room.
I feel it, but
Nike gave him a good deal.
Nike gave him a buyout. So I mean, people were mad about that. Let's not. People were mad about his buyout with the NFL, right? So when I think about woke, I think about people that sacrificed everything, and Cap sacrificed everything. Okay.
Well, I just asked was he woke? That was a profound statement that he made.
I mean, he's educated. He went to Duke for at least a year.
Stop it, man. He played basketball at Duke. He didn't go to Duke. I'm
he
sure
went to a class or two.
Why you got to do him like that?
Right. Why you wasn't there. You don't know what he did.
The reason I said is
you don't got his transcripts.
First of all, the reason I asked that question is because he said some profound statements. He's done things in the past, but also.
So should we forgive all the foolishness he just did a month ago because he's woke now? I'm air quoting.
I just asked the question because all this profound stuff he's doing. He's still a flat earther. Let's not forget that.
He's still a what?
A flat earther. You know, he think the world is flat.
I mean, that has nothing to do with his wokeness. That just means
that ain't got to do with his what?
That just means his science is a little off. That's all, man. His science is a little off, man. You know,
look,
people people believe crazy things.
Have you been out of space before?
Who?
You,
man. Please.
Have you been out of space before?
Time out. Yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Dre. Kesey, I love you like a brother. But if you are a flat earther, we're going to have a long conversation.
Are you a flat earther?
Are you a flat earther?
Is he a flat?
I'm not saying I'm a flat earther, but I'm at the same time not saying I'm a round earther either. I'm just saying.
Is the moon made of cheese?
Neither one of us works for NASA. So neither one of us know if it's true or not.
That is not
because just think about
so
this.
Know.
When you on the plane, do you see the roundness of the earth? Do you see the flatness of the earth?
We've seen pictures.
Y'all are terrible.
So you don't think pictures can be photoshopped still? They've been photoshopped for a long, long time. You don't think so?
No, come on, man.
So we're going to wrap this episode up of the 94 Feet Podcast. I would like to thank my brothers for joining me. And also would like to thank all the people who's listened to previous practice episodes. And that's about it. You guys have a good one.
All right. 94 Feet, baby.
All right, y'all. 94 Feet.
Like us, subscribe, leave a comment. 94 Feet Podcast.